NUFC Merv saying, hasn't even put pen to paper for Spurs yet and he's already twerking again for AC Milan. Is this bloke actually a bit of a see you next Tuesday?
Yeah, what do we think about this? That's obviously him replying to. He was asked about, a dream of returning to Milan because he was always there was a lot of stuff when he left Milan to Newcastle. He didn't really want to, and then there was videos of him sulking a bit when he, when got to Newcastle, saying the gym's a bit smaller. I remember that video with him and his, I think, wife at the time. So there's always been this narrative. He never wanted to go. He wanted to go back. So he was asked about it. He said there are always rumours about it. We always joke about it, but if one day there's a chance to return to Milan, we'll seriously talk about that.
I don't see that as an issue. There's no issue there whatsoever.
Is there an issue about, he's about to come to Spurs, he's already talking about potentially leaving?
Nah, come on. The guy is a Milan boy. That's his boyhood club. He's from there. And he's just saying, if one day there's a chance, then maybe we'll go back, Just because he's signed for us doesn't mean he has to be here for the rest of his life.
Yeah, but is it disrespectful to
I don't think so.
talk about another club when he's just about to start a new project?
No, I don't think so. Do you think it's disrespectful?
No, I don't.
Okay,
no, I think people have obviously they've mentioned it. That's this Murph's guy opinion that it's disrespectful.
He's a salty Newcastle fan.
He is. Look, at the end of the day, he's asked a question about Milan. Unless, I guess, in Murph's eyes, the only reasonable answer is no comment. Otherwise, it's either disrespectful to Milan or it's disrespectful to Spurs. I don't really care. I agree. At the end of the day, he signed for us for 100 million, right? I think when you look at players making these comments and when you're finding it quote unquote disrespectful, I think when, like, for example, when, let's say, Dragic signed for us and he's already talking about going to Bayern and or Madrid and stuff like that, I find that a bit odd because that he's already thinking about the next step. Whereas Milan's a bit different. He's been there. He's signing for us for 100 million. There's no way if he's good for us, like, Milan's not a step up. You know what I mean? He's never going to go. He's never going to, like, be the best player in the league and then go and sign for Milan after they bid 130 million or 50 million, whatever, because Milan are never going to have that money. So,
well, they did just pay 70 million to someone.
I know, but they're never going to be able to pay the money if unless we want to get rid of him because we don't want him. They're never going to be able to get him off us. So I don't really see this as an issue. It's never going to happen in that sense.
All I see from that quote is like, one day at the end of my career, maybe I'll go back there. You look at Modric balling out there at 39 years of age, 40 years of age. It's something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's a case of, like, he sees Tottenham as a stepping stone kind of thing. I don't think that's what he's saying.
By the way, Sammy Mockbell has just done an update saying that Sandro Tonali was Arsenal's top target in midfield, but Tottenham met Newcastle's asking price, which the Gunners saw as prohibitive. We took their best target.
Hijack, sir, will someone say? Is this our Eze?
Prefer Tonali to Eze, to be fair.
Exactly.
Account called Joe Linton says, anyway, thank you, Sandro Tonali. One of my favourite players I've ever watched in black and white. Not quite a legend, but definitely a cult hero. Part of the group that brought silverware back to Tyneside. No idea why he wouldn't join Spurs, but best of luck to him. That's a very nice message.
Yeah, lovely. It's a bit of a weird one, I guess, for Newcastle fans because he didn't play for here because of a betting scandal. Then obviously, got over that. They stood by him and he ended up playing very well and he had like a hero's welcome when he returned and then, had an average year and he decided to up and leave. So I don't know. If I was a Newcastle fan, I don't know how I'd feel about him. Like, I don't know if I'd be happy about it or I'd be a bit annoyed because of how things have transpired. Could he have shown loyalty to Newcastle when they showed loyalty to him? There's that aspect to it, but hey ho, I'm not a Newcastle fan.
Apparently his agent has been piping up for quite some time to try and get him out of Newcastle.
So I'd be royally pissed off if I was a Newcastle fan.
Yeah, and last season, not the season just gone, the season before that, he was amazing, but that was his first season at Newcastle, really, because his first season he was banned the whole year. Yeah. So he's only actually been there 2 years. Paul, Newcastle United FC, says, Tonali, good money for an inconsistent player. He wanted London for his young family, but zero loyalty when the club and fans supported him through a dark addiction. Off you pop, Bonnie lad.
I mean, you got a fair point, and you got a question. If he didn't show loyalty there, will he show loyalty to Tottenham? I guess the difference is we spent 100 million, so it's going to take a hit. If let's say he gets Player of the Year next season and we win the league, whatever, and he wants to go next step, how much
ties to Dizabi though, doesn't it?
No, I'm just saying, how much would it
take?
Dizabi
leaves, maybe.
No, I'm just saying how if he was saying, okay, I'm the best player in the league, I'm killing it at Tottenham, but Madrid want me or whatever, how much would that take to get him out? We've just spent 100 million on him. If we doubled Newcastle money, are we going to want double our money? Who's ever going to pay 200 million for him? So it's going to be super hard for him to ever leave, considering the money we paid for him.
Yeah, look, it depends on the circumstances and how much he pushes for a move, and if he goes on, if he does an Isaac or something like that, who knows what can happen in the future. But once Real Madrid come calling, it's very hard to keep hold of your players.
Mm-hmm.
So look, it will take a hefty fee. I don't know if Spurs will look to double their money, but maybe like 150 or something if that was to happen.
I think well, then that's a worry if we're saying we would sell for 150, because he's already been pushing already for one thing. I hope it doesn't happen at Tottenham.
Yeah, but we know Real Madrid are Real Madrid. Like, if most of our players, if Real Madrid came calling, then they would probably want to go.
Well, apparently Porro didn't.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the odd cases, but I'm saying the majority of our squad.
Yeah.
It's just is what it is. Jack Cunningham says Tonali had one absolutely incredible season where he should have been in team this season, then a pretty average one. The fee is so extremely good, nearly double what Newcastle paid for him. I can't quite help but feel he should have shown more loyalty to the club and fan base that stuck by him through a betting ban. Though his agent has been pushing this far too long, I'm not sure he'll be remembered that fondly on Tyneside.
Yeah, considering as well he's like doing an interview at the airport. I mean, if the Tottenham player was doing that, if we were Newcastle fans, or if we were selling one of our top players to Newcastle like this, and he's like doing interviews at the airport before it's confirmed, all these things, it would piss me off. It definitely would piss me off. So I can understand, it probably taints. It's not ended in the best possible way, has it? Probably tainted a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think just going to Tottenham has tainted it just in itself.
Yeah.
Like, because they see themselves as on a level playing field than us, or even better than us. This one says, these Tonali quotes are absolutely classless. He's disrespected Tottenham by talking about a return to Italy before he's even signed for them. He hasn't even said a goodbye message to Newcastle fans before he's talking about his new adventure in London. You couldn't make it up.
Yeah, I feel for him. He's going through it. It is what it is. He's hard to let go. He's taking some swipes before he has to let go for good, but it is what it is.
This guy, Toon Takeover, he's at it again. He says, I keep thinking about a line I wrote in this tweet yesterday, and I've changed my mind. I don't think Sandro Tonali will be remembered fondly by the Newcastle fans, nor should he be. So I want to retract. Fuck him, arrivederci. And he said yesterday, thanks for the memories, Sandro. Is he worth 100 million? Definitely not. So now he's saying no thanks to the memories.
No thanks for the memories. I think that's a bit much. But I think I can understand that people are angry at him for how it's ended and him leaving. And then also, according to, what was it, there was reports in January, his agent was shopping him out to Arsenal and all this kind of stuff, and that nearly happened. So it's been in the offing, so I can understand the frustration.
This one says, a top player that most teams are chasing signing for Spurs shows his mentality and ambition. He's only joining Spurs because of the money they're offering him, like the same way he moved from AC Milan to Newcastle because of money. Same as Mateus Fernandes, Manchester United not going for these two, one of the best things they've done in years, because they would have left it for another team, offer them big money in the near future when we need them the most. There are many available good midfielders in the market that are better than these two, and we should make sure we go for those ones and that prioritise us. We don't have to use big money to convince these players anymore, because we've done that and we all saw the outcomes. This isn't something Manchester United fans should be overreacting, even though Ineos are being a bit slow in the summer, but not bringing these two is a big win.
I just disagree. 100%. I completely disagree. I think, as I said about the Fernandes thing, if you're not getting, obviously I don't know if they weren't in for Tonali, but if they're not getting in this market, if you're not getting a first choice target, you're just going to be overpaying for someone not as good. That's going to be the end result here. Unless you really are committed to overpaying, and in that case you're just going to end up with someone average, probably, like totally average, not even less good. Yeah. So for me, it's not a win. you think that you're saving money, but in the long term, the reality is you're probably going to buy twice.
Yeah, well, it depends who they bring in, but I guess. Sandro Tonali leaving Newcastle for Tottenham is a betrayal. Not after everything Newcastle did for him when he clearly let his team and fans down. And there's a video alongside it. Let's watch it.
Especially these players, but this I know there is no house, especially these players, but this Tonali of a guy betrayed Newcastle. He betrayed Newcastle, and if I'm a Newcastle fan,
It's not even a Newcastle
I will be
fan.
so pissed. Yeah, 100 million is a good price, but I will be so pissed. This Tonali of a guy that they bought from AC Milan, that was suspended for gambling, and Newcastle stood by him. We are still paying him even when he was suspended. When he suspended ended, they brought him back to the team to play. And at the first chance he gets, he jumped ship. He jumped ship at the first chance he got to go to Tottenham. Is Tottenham that much better than Newcastle? If you're going to Madrid or Barcelona or Man United, they will say, okay, it's a big team, or Liverpool. You will know, okay, it's a big team. The fans can understand. But you're going to Tottenham. Is Tottenham much better team than Newcastle? Is Tottenham a bigger club than Newcastle?
Come on. Got London.
Newcastle fans should be.
It was
pissed.
interesting.
They should boo the hell out of him when it comes to Newcastle.
In terms of comparing Tottenham and Newcastle and stuff, what he was
I
saying
know.
to Tonali about, in the airport, he won the new challenge, but he also kind of mentioned the lifestyle. So obviously that was definitely in his thinking. He said about De Zerbi and how much of an influence, but he also said, I'm looking for a change in my life and for my family. He was talking about. So I do wonder if he's hinting, like, he just would rather the London lifestyle than being out in Newcastle. I wonder if that's part of it.
Also, you mentioned when he went into the Newcastle facilities. Well, look at the Tottenham facilities.
Yeah, also true. He did mention that, yeah.
K Mappa says Tottenham had a near-death experience and realised there's no point being stingy anymore. That's literally what's happened. Isn't it?
It's like we saw the light.
Literally
It's
what's
like we
happened.
had.
Go down, Sammy.
It's like life flashed before our eyes. That's exactly what happened.
Peter Davies says Sandro Tonali has let every Newcastle fan down that supported him through his gambling ban, and I'll have nobody tell me different. There's a lot of Newcastle fans with that sentiment saying they felt betrayed by Sandro Tonali.
I don't blame him, but at the end of the day, he's got to do what's best for his career. And when De Zerbi knocks, you answer.
Alice Talks Football says Tottenham go and sign Mateus and Tonali in 24 hours while we sit here and do nothing. I thought Manchester United were meant to be rebuilding their midfield this summer and going big. Now they have UCL. Mainu is our only fit central midfielder in the whole squad. Well, is Edison not fit?
I guess they haven't officially announced him, have they?
Have they not?
No, I think there's been a here we go, but I don't think they've officially announced it. Yeah, a lot of Man United fans frustrated with their lack of inaction, and we're just here just spending money left,
We've got
right, and centre.
central midfielders shitting out of our arse.
I know.
You know what I mean? Man United got one fit central midfielder. James Ducker of The Telegraph says, those United fans criticising Spurs for signing Tonali and Fernandes, two players that would have been creaming themselves over that they signed for their club. I totally understand United's position on both, but deriding Spurs for their ambition is insane. And no, it's not the Woodward era United. Tonali and Fernandes are not Schneiderlin and past it Kroc Schweinsteiger. I absolutely despise social media transfer wars. Catapult me back to the 90s, and yes, I'm in a bad mood.
I feel that. I think he's spot on in terms of we've got some real good quality players, and they're not as big a risk as some of the other ones he's mentioned, 100%. And as I've said, the market is you're going to have to overpay. So he's worried now that now they haven't got Tonali Fernandes, they're probably going to have to get someone who's maybe as much of a risk as a.
They're talking about now Scott and Nemecha next on the hit list.
Yeah. Which are two very good players, to be honest. They are two very good players. But again, how much are they going to cost?
Similar price. Apparently they want 100 million for Nemecha and 85 million
so
for Scott.
you fine, you didn't overpay for them, but now you're going to have to overpay for these players.
Exactly. Next up is Mark Goldbridge. We all saw his meltdown. Let's see what he's saying about Tonali.
Are out there fine. We're there wiping our arse with our hands, and Tottenham are out there fine dining. You know, it's like there are people in our fan base who think we win by not spending money. It amazes me. And can I just say, Tonali on £250,000 a week for £92 million is a good deal. That's not overpaying. Go back to March and April when we were talking about Tonali, and I specifically said around £250,000 a week and around £100 million. So that's not even overpaying. That's literally market value. Like, you could argue maybe Anderson's 15 million over budget, maybe Mateus Fernandes, in my opinion, is 20 million over budget. So Tonali is absolutely on point. £92.5 million and £250,000 a week is exactly what you should pay him. We're there wiping our arse with our hands.
I think wages-wise,
Tottenham are out there
I think if he was
it's like there are
going to any other Big Six club, that's probably what they would be paying him. I don't think it's 250 is a massive overpayment. In terms of the 100 million, I think he's probably around 70. That's probably where I see him.
But we're talking
maybe
about
75.
We're talking about market value, and you're looking at the market right now.
True, but I think if I think he's worth 75, and then you say Gusto's worth 75, well, then he probably is about 92 and a half.
In terms of, like, where do you see him alongside Anderson right now? Is he a better player right now than Elliot Anderson?
It's a good question. I think Anderson has obviously been much better in the last 2 seasons.
Well, I think there's a case to say only the last season, the season before that, I think Tonali was ahead of him.
I mean, there's definitely an argument to say that, to be honest. I mean, there is a case for it. I mean, Tonali's also 26 and done it for a lot longer than Anderson. Let's be honest, how long's Anderson actually been top of his game? He was quite good at Newcastle, but he wasn't like...
Last season was the real top season for him. The season before that, it was very good, but this last year was incredible.
Yeah, last season he stepped up even more. I mean, Tonali, is, as we said, we couldn't name 10 midfielders better than him, could we?
I think Elliot Anderson, for one season in his career, has been better than Tonali. For one season. And I think the year before, I think Tonali was much better than him. I really believe that. So you're talking about, with Sandro Tonali, a player who coming into the prime age of his career, you obviously pay a premium for that, but also Ed Anderson's got more years on him, a lot more years on him. So, and you've got the English tax. So I guess that comes into it as well. So I think they're probably about a similar value.
I think because of the age, you probably add a bit more to Anderson. That probably makes a bit of a difference. But yeah, I mean, when you put it all into perspective, I mean, as we said, I don't think 100 million is crazy. I don't. I think, yeah, it's probably a bit of an overpayment, but it's not one that's crazy. Like maybe Fernandes is a lot more of an overpayment, but yeah, Tonali, I'm really happy just to get him over the line. I think he's a top midfielder. Like when you're looking at all the top midfielders in the league and how much they're going to cost, yeah, that's just the going rate, isn't it?
This next one from Mateus. This is literally Tottenham right now. Scroll down. I'm hungry. Let's eat. That is Tottenham in a nutshell right now.
We're starving, and we are getting a feast at the moment. I can promise you.
Mate, if this guy can get back to his best,
oh my word,
then we are seriously cooking on gas, isn't it?
That'd be so good.
Adam Joseph says 100 million for Sandro Tonali is an extraordinary overpay. Tottenham are happy to be rinsed in the market and give inflated wages because of the position they're in. That's not ambition. Don't confuse the two because they're throwing money around. It's two entirely different things. That's being in your Ed Woodward era. Manchester United walked away from Tonali at the beginning of the summer because of the asking price and wages, and clearly they were right to do it.
Well, that's his opinion. And they're going to probably end up with someone worse than Tonali.
This whole thing of like these Man United fans using copium to say that we're in our Ed Woodward era right now, like, yeah, such crap. Like, seriously, look at some of the players. I know he signed like some big players as well that didn't work out, but a lot of them were just like kind of average players that they overpaid for.
Yeah, a lot of them. So I understand his argument, and we'll have to wait and see whether he's right or not. But I just disagree. I think the money that we're talking about in this market is not as crazy as it makes out. You just see these big figures and you think, oh my God, why are they paying all of this? But the market's gone crazy. Everyone's paying massive. Newcastle just signed 2 players for 50 million each, and they're not even like, who are they? I know they're good players. I'm not saying bad signings. I'm just saying Like they're 50 million. These are two young players who have played, in the Bundesliga and they're not like the best players in the league, are they? And they're 50 million each. That's the going rate for that kind of player.
This is the way football goes, right? Do you remember like 10 years ago when you would see a signing, or maybe it was longer than that, 10, 15 years ago, when you would see a signing for 50 million and only the top clubs would pay like something like 50 million, like, wow, 50 million. Now 50 million is nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So 80 million, it's crazy for us, but, many clubs have paid a price like 80 million.
I mean, 80 million was what Man United paid for Maguire 9 years ago. It's not exactly the craziest
thing. Basically, what I'm trying to say, 100 million now is like the 50 million of like 20, 15 years ago. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Agreed.
Tetrunk says, Kane's worldie to win it with an immediate Tonali bomber post-game. People pay a fortune for a highlight.
Honestly, I pay so much and I got it for free.
West Ham Central has got a handshaking emoji between West Ham and Newcastle saying shafting Spurs.
Also, I think they should have a handshake emoji of giving them the best midfielder.
Yeah, literally. And last one, Magpie Media saying every single Newcastle fan knows Sandro Tonali is likely to leave the club this summer, but the fact there are some real life people out there who think he can end up at Spurs over the likes of Arsenal, Manchester United is genuinely crazy.
It's insane, isn't it, mate?
It's nuts.
It's nuts, isn't it? Oh my God, these guys keep taking L's. This is just like Mark Goldbridge when he was like, Tottenham are never going to hijack Spurs from Fernandes. They don't get it. They haven't got the memo. We're massive. They don't get the message yet. I don't think they understand. We are back, people. We're gargantuan.
We are back with a vengeance.
They don't get it. You should have
bring that picture up.
You
Bring that picture. That's the best
have
picture
relegated
of all time.
us.
You fucked up, guys. You should have relegated us. And Newcastle actually got the memo towards the last end of the season. They wanted us down, the majority of them, but they fucked up.
Fucked up massively.
They should have let West Ham have that game.
According to the Athletic, the Metchers, £103 million they want.
How much?
The Metcher, £103 million. Sammy Mockbell says Tottenham have the capabilities to spend up to another 250 million this summer.
Come on. All right. I think that's it, guys.